We left Karakol in the morning, but before reaching the mountains, we passed reminders that this region has many layers of history. Near the center of town stands a wooden Russian Orthodox church, built by settlers in the late 19th century when this area was part of the Russian Empire. Not far away is a monument to the explorer Nikolai Przhevalsky, one of the first Europeans to map the mountains of Central Asia. Karakol was once a frontier outpost, a meeting place of Russian soldiers, explorers, traders, and local Kyrgyz herders. Even today, the town feels different from other places around Issyk-Kul. It is part Kyrgyz, part Russian, and part Silk Road. Leaving the town behind, we drove south toward the rising mountains. The flat basin around Lake Issyk-Kul quickly disappeared. The land began to climb, and low hills turned into mountain slopes. Soon the Tian Shan surrounded us on every side. The paved highway ended, and a smaller road carried us into a wide valley. Ahead of us appeared red cliffs glowing in the sunlight. Their shapes looked almost unreal, soft rounded formations carved by wind and rain over long periods of time. At first they reminded us of Fairy Tale Canyon, but this was a different place. We had entered the Jeti-Ögüz Valley. Jeti-Ögüz means 7 bulls in Kyrgyz, named after the famous Red Rock Formation deeper inside the valley. According to legend, the cliffs resemble 7 enormous animals standing together, but the rock formation is only the beginning. The real experience lies beyond the viewpoint. Soon the asphalt disappeared, and the road became dirt and gravel. Immediately the atmosphere changed. There were no shops, no tour buses, and almost no traffic. Instead, we saw wooden fences grazing cattle and horses walking freely across the meadows. We were now following the Jeti-Ögüz River upstream. The valley widened into open pasture land. The sky felt enormous, and the air seemed clearer. In Kyrgyzstan, space itself becomes part of the landscape. You don't just look at nature, you feel it. In summer, families bring their animals into these high mountain pastures called the jailoo. For centuries, Kyrgyz nomads moved between winter villages and summer grazing lands, and that tradition still continues. We began to see yurts beside the river. Smoke drifted upward from cooking fires. Children rode horses along the road with complete confidence. It did not feel like a tourist attraction. It felt like we were briefly passing through someone's daily life. We had entered the gorge. The road now hugged the river, sometimes only a few meters away. We crossed small bridges and followed the canyon deeper into the mountains. The sound of rushing water echoed constantly between the cliffs. For thousands of years, travelers crossed these mountains along routes connected to the Silk Road. Caravans moving between China and Central Asia passed near this region. The mountains were barriers, but they were also pathways linking distant cultures. Even today, the road feels more like a path than a highway. We continued for almost an hour. There were no signs telling us how far it went, and no clear destination, just the river guiding us forward. Occasionally we passed a truck, a horse rider, or a group of hikers, but mostly there was silence and the sound of water. Yurts appeared in clearings along the riverbanks. Some were simple summer homes for herders, while others welcomed travelers for tea or a place to stay. Hospitality here is not a business, it is a tradition. Eventually the track grew rougher and the mountains steeper. We realized we could probably continue far into the inner Tian Shan, but without a plan we decided to turn back. Sometimes turning around is part of the journey. Driving out, the valley seemed even more beautiful. From higher viewpoints, we could see the river winding through forest and pasture, with the red cliffs guarding the entrance to the valley like a natural gate. Kyrgyzstan is a small country on a map, yet astonishingly varied. In a single day, you can move from lakeside plains to desert-like rock formations, alpine forests, and open grazing lands. But what stays in memory is not only the scenery. In many countries, mountains are places people visit. Here, mountains are places people live. The yurts, the horses, and the seasonal movement to the jailoo are not performances for tourists. They are part of everyday life shaped by nature. We eventually returned toward the Issyk-Kul Basin, leaving the gorge behind. The road did not lead to a single destination. It led to an understanding. In Kyrgyzstan, the mountains are not the background. They are the center of life.
If you would like to know more about my experience over the past 5 decades, learning and using more than 30 languages around the globe, with adventures in 101 countries so far, then please visit my website, polyglotdreams.com. There you will find my memoir, A Life in 30 Languages, translated in various languages and integrated with audio and dual readers to offer a great way to improve your target languages.